Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Your Mark on the World show. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe, and our guest today is Rai Chowdhary. Rai, welcome to the show.
Devin, good to be on the show.
Well, we're thrilled to have you. You have had an extraordinarily successful career, and yet in recent years you've kind of shifted gears from your engineering entrepreneurial background to a more passion project. You've been working to help people accomplish their goals, and you've developed kind of a proprietary system for that. And so we're excited to learn more about your goal achievement system. So as I recall, the first step in your system, the first tip is to define what you want to become. Tell us what you mean by that.
Yeah, Devin, that is so right on the money. The reason I switched to all of this is because my view is that if I cannot touch several million lives during my lifetime, my life would be sort of a waste. Now, luckily, over the years, I've been able to live my dreams several times and have been able to touch several millions of lives through the different products I created, through the technologies I brought to the world. And then subsequently, now my dream is to touch many, many millions of lives through the approach of do magic. So going back to your question on what do you want to become? Look, we all have a limited time on the planet. I call it the TOP, the time on planet. If a person is, let us say, 20 years old, they probably have 20 times 400, 8,000, probably 8,000 days or something like that of real constructive life on the planet. Now, 8,000 may seem like a long time, but honestly speaking, it is not. Like fine grains of sand, if you try to hold it in your fist, you can't. Those grains of sand just keep dropping away. So time slips away, moments slip away, and then one day you wake up and realize, what did I do with my life? So what I'm encouraging everyone to think about is, contemplate and figure out, what do you want to become? What is your mark? What mark do you want to leave in this world? To kind of copy from what you are doing as well. And if we don't think about that, what happens is the wind, the tide, the herd mentality, all the forces in the world, they kind of just take us wherever they are going, and we end up drifting. So that has become a passion for me. And this is applicable not just at the individual level. Companies, organizations, not-for-profits, everybody can benefit from this, from creating that vision, creating that dream for themselves and for their organization, and then bit by bit moving towards that.
It is really important, I think, to define what you want to be and become. And I appreciate you sharing that insight. But the next step you talk about is to create a dream at the intersection of passion, your strengths, and your opportunities. So why is it so important to create a dream, formalize it, and to place it at that intersection of those elements?
Yeah, Devin, that's a great question again. So the three things, first of all, are what is your passion? What are you really passionate about? What are your strengths? And the third one is, what are the opportunities in this world? So having said that, let me back up for a second. There are two types of dreams. One is the dream that occurs to you, and most of the time it's without your volition, it just happens. You're sleeping and you get a dream. But what I'm saying is that is a dream that may or may not be achievable. So you need to create your dream. You need to figure out what your dream is and what is it that gets you out of the bed in the morning with an excitement to look forward to the day and move and jump out of the bed. So creating your dream, many people don't know how to go about it. They just grab an idea from the air and say, okay, I'm going to become, an astronaut or whatever their passion is. Well, passion by itself can actually drive you crazy. So passion has to be tempered by several other factors. And that is why the intersection point of the three circles becomes so strong. So now let's talk about the three circles. Your passion is the energy and the fuel that will take you forward. But without understanding what you are really strong about, what are your strengths, the passion will just drive you nuts. So look at your strengths. I am an engineer, just to take me as an example. I have deep technical skills and I have a passion for creating great products in the world that actually benefit millions of people. So I combine those two. So my passion and the engineering knowledge got combined, and then I looked at where are the opportunities in this world. Because if I have a combination of those two, but there are no opportunities in this world, it's like the rose that bloomed in a forest. Nobody saw it, nobody got the benefit of it. See the point? So you
Yes.
have to think about, okay, I have this passion, I have these strengths, and where in the world is the need for these? So to take you to a very recent example, the passion I had was to help millions of people. The dream was, the strength was to use my engineering skills, and the opportunity in the world presented itself in the form of many of the doctors whose hands were in the X-ray beam and they were getting zapped right and left. They couldn't do anything about it. They were the caregivers, but who was taking care of the caregiver? So there was the opportunity, and we created a product that actually saves the surgeon's hands from the X-ray beam. And that, believe it or not, I did it with a friend of mine. His name is Dr. Ashok Khankar. Uh, we did it. We did it in our garages. We did it on our kitchen tables. And that invention has become a commercial product, and it is being sold as a radiation blocking cream. So that is a great example of why you want to combine those three, because then you can come out with something that is really useful. Now I'm doing it with Do Magic. I'm combining my passion, again, to help millions of people realize their dreams. My strength is I'm a good coach. I'm a good guide. I can help people lead them through several steps in a very methodical manner. And the opportunity in the world is that there are tons and tons of organizations and people who are kind of struggling. They don't know how to create their dream. They don't know the step-by-step approach. So I'm combining all those three into Do Magic with Your Life.
Well, it really is a great example of your model, right? Of combining your strengths, your passions, and the market opportunity. Now, let's talk about the third step, which is to move toward your dream. Clearly, this is a critically important step. We have to do more than just believe and plan. We've got to execute. So talk to us about how we actually effectively move toward accomplishing our dream so that it becomes a reality.
Yes, yes, Devin, you are so right, because not always the path forward is clear. Many times the path forward is not even visible. But what happens in most cases is people can't see the path forward, so they get stuck, they get stymied, and they tend to give up. I'll tell you a small story. Long time ago, I was sitting down with one of my respected uncles, and we were discussing these concepts. So in the darkness, you can't see. He said, okay, do you have a flashlight? I said, okay, I can get a flashlight, but the flashlight can't point to where I really want to go. And he said, that's okay. The flashlight will point you a short distance. It is your choice whether you want to move forward or stay there. If you stay there, no progress. You'll just be there until whatever time, right? So he said, okay, the flashlight will show you a certain part of the distance. You start moving forward, and guess what? More of the distance becomes visible. More of the path becomes visible as you start taking steps forward. And if you find that the path is not there, maybe you have to clear up the brush. Maybe you have to become the trailblazer and create your own path. But sitting where you are sitting is not going to get you anywhere. So that is why one has to start moving forward. Once you have identified what your dream is, what you are passionate about, once you have created your dream at the intersection of those three circles, the mindset should be the only way forward is the path forward.
Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about your concept of milestones.
So I am here, I want to be here, and in between there is this wide open gulf or space. I need to figure out how to go from where I am to where I want to be. So one of the most important things in bridging that gulf is to kind of start thinking about what is it that I need to finish? What are markers on the way that will tell me that I'm on the journey? A 16-year-old, for example, wants to become an astronaut. Well, to become an astronaut, you may need an engineering or a science degree. You may have to go through so many hours of flight training. You may have to go through so many hours of weightlessness training, and so on and so forth. So if one doesn't know what are the critical milestones, you can't even start. And if you don't lay out the milestones, what happens is you see this big gap between where you are and where you want to be. And again, you get dumbfounded. People get stalled. But the fact is, if you lay out the milestones, then you have the first milestone, the second milestone, the third milestone, and so on and so forth. And you may not know all the milestones. That's okay. You'll figure it out, or talk to people to find out. Then what you do is you focus on the first two or three and say, okay, how do I get to these first two or three? You don't have to focus far away all the time. Just focus on the first two or three, and that will exert the pull to take you in that direction. That is why milestones are so important. So while we are on the topic of milestones, let me also point out one more thing. When you start laying this out, tie a measure of success to every milestone, because you want to know on a precise basis, what does it mean to be successful in reaching that milestone? If you don't know the measure of success, then we end up deluding ourselves that, yes, I met that milestone. So it's very important to tie both of those together.
Yes, yes, I see. I think that concept of milestones is such an important one for making that interim progress, because almost no one has the willpower to
Absolutely.
go from start to finish.
Absolutely.
Without notching any accomplishments, without marking progress along the way. We all just would give up. If the goal is hard, right, we can't make it. So I love the concept of milestones in your progress toward realizing a dream. Sure. Well, Rai, I want you to just tell us a little bit, given that you are so successful and you have become a role model to so many people, who's your role model? Who do you look up to?
There are two people. One is my uncle and one is Mother Teresa. So let me talk about Mother Teresa. And if I have time, I'll refer to my uncle as well. I really admire her because, think about it, she was born in Macedonia. She was an Albanian, and she came to India to serve humanity. I mean, she touched so many millions of lives. What did she expect in return? Nothing. She did it because that was the right thing to do. That was absolutely the right thing to do. And when I think about that, and I think about the three circles again, passion, your strengths, and opportunities in this world, she did that. She absolutely did that. Her passion was to serve mankind. Her skill was her compassion and what she learned from her religion, right? And the opportunity was there in India, where there were thousands and hundreds of thousands of people who were not being taken care of. So she figured out a way to combine all of that. I'm sure these things didn't occur to her that way, but when you reflect on it, the three circles were working together.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. She is a really, truly inspiring role model, and I'm glad you shared her story and your perspective. Rai, you've been, again, very successful as an engineer. I wonder why you have felt to shift gears. You talked about having an impact on people, but you are having an impact on people as an engineer. Why help people fulfill their dreams? Why help people leave their mark on the world? Why help people do good?
Devin, that's $1 million question. So look at it this way. If I create fantastic products in the world, I am benefiting some people, maybe a few million, maybe tens of millions, whatever. But think about it. Whose dream am I living? Mine, just me. Why can I not help millions live their dream? Why should I not? So that is what propelled me And I have not given up on my engineering side, don't get me wrong. I still am creating stuff. My garage is actually a lab of sorts, and my kitchen table is too. So don't get me wrong, that will never go away. It went into my bloodstream. But when I think about all the time, if I do that, I'm just fulfilling my dream. Why can't I take that approach and help millions of others fulfill their dreams? Take nonprofits, eradication of polio. We are almost there, not completely there yet, right? But there are so many other diseases that can be eradicated. Why can't I help those organizations create their dreams and help them with creating their roadmaps and be on the journey? That is what I would like to do.
That's great. That's great. And I appreciate your shared passion for eradication of polio. And there are so many more diseases where we can take what we've learned from the eradication of polio, what we've learned from you, and apply that to the fight against AIDS, malaria, tuberculosis, and other diseases. So
exactly.
Really exciting potential there. Well, last, Rai, you've given us some great insights, but I'm wondering if you could give us one last, what we call impact hack, something you do perhaps every day, routinely, habitually. Give us some little thing that we can emulate, that we can duplicate, that would allow us to have more impact, do more good in the world.
So this is going to be a little bit profound, so bear with me. Every day we wake up, it's a present. I could have been dead, right? It's a present. So the first question I ask myself is, I have another day. What is the best use I can make of this day? Can I bring a smile to a few people? Can I share the approach of Do Magic? Can I get them excited about creating a dream and then showing them how to live their dream? I do it on a daily basis.
I think that's great. That is really powerful to think about. What is the most important thing I can do today? Yeah, that's brilliant. Well, Rai, we sure appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. Now, tell us how people can get in touch with you and connect with you. I know you speak, you've got a book. Tell people how they can learn more about the Do Magic system and your message.
Absolutely. So Do Magic with Your Life is a book. It's available on Amazon if you choose to buy it there. DoMagicWithYourLife.com is my website. I encourage you to go there. We also have a newsletter where I'll be sending out a tip of the week, and that starts later on this month. So if you would, if our listeners would like to sign up for that, I would very much encourage them to sign up for that. Also, you can get in touch with me by email. My email address is on the website as well, and I can spell it out here. It is Rai, R-A-I _Chowdhary, CHOWDHARY @yahoo.com. You can get in touch with me there, or you can call me 512-560-8326. So there are several ways you can reach me.
Fantastic. Well, Rai, we sure appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. It's just been a joy and an honor, and we wish you every success in the great work that you're doing.
Thank you so much, Devin. It was a pleasure.
All righty. Let's do some good.
Okay.